Hey, what's up guys? Redstone here. Today's video is going to be on areas to fish from the banks. If you don't have a kayak, canoe, any type of boat, or you just don't have the money for a charter or any fishing that has you away from the shorelines and whatnot, this is a video for you. As well as summer's coming up, so it's just to help you find some spots to do some fishing, and just gonna help you with really just what to use in these spots to catch more fish. And I'm not going to be putting up any of the piers. That could be another video, or whatnot. But this is just from fishing from the land, and just helping you get on some more fish. So without further ado, let's get into it. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with the JFK Causeway, the John F. Kennedy Memorial Causeway. So first of all, before you even get on there, you can already fish from right here. There's a little tiny channel, as you can see, that goes along the little turnaround area. You can get on some speckled trout, even some sheep's head, red drum, flounder, black drum, and of course your other fish like your hardheads, gaff tops, your ribbon fish, but the others are the main ones that you really want to get on to. But you can fish along there, or you can get onto the causeway, and as soon as you turn in onto this access road to be able to get to the causeway, as well as Red Dot, it also shoots out, and you can take the side road that goes along the bridge area. Now, as you can see right here, you're going to be fishing from the shoreline, which is kind of close to where these arrows are. I don't know if y'all can see them, but if you want to get into the channels, you are going to have to get into the water, or you could also do sail fishing, which is very popular in this spot. But whenever it comes to this side right here, on this side, not that side, this side, the early morning time from before sunrise to about, I want to say 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock is the best time to do the fishing on this side. And then it kind of cuts out. The biting isn't that great, but then it goes to later evening and or early evening, and then around the evening time is where you want to get into this little channel area that runs alongside it. Now, live mullet, cut bait, live shrimp or dead shrimp, with if you use dead shrimp, I highly recommend always using shrimp fish bites, because shrimp is easily able to be picked off your hook. But with a shrimp flavored fish bite, it not only expands the scent of the shrimp, it also is very durable and it lasts a lot longer. So you might lose that dead shrimp that you already had on that hook, but that fish bite will stay on there and you could still get another bite. Now, early morning is pretty good with lures as well. Soft plastic, artificial. But I've actually myself haven't really used them around this area. So can't really tell you much on that one. Now, oh, but on this side though, it's also really good for camping out. You could also use your if you have a fifth wheel or RV or something like that, camper, you don't have to pay. It's good to use, camp out, fish all night long, all that good stuff. So I do highly recommend using this area as well. And it goes all the way to the turnaround, and you can also fish under the bridge. Now, the issue with fishing under the bridge is that it is snag central. You will get snagged if you're fishing the bottom. But of course, in this type of area, you're going to want to fish on the bottom because of how the current is. And you fish with a cork, it's going to just drive your cork away. But there is a very good possibility of getting on a big fish, a big a big bull red drum, or a big ugly black drum as well. And then you got this side of the Jfk Causeway that's even closer to a channel that a lot of your big uglies like to roam through. And then you also got this area. Whenever you're fishing in the shallower areas, it's better to fish early in the morning with soft plastic, hard plastic, and then your natural baits. And then in your channel area, it's better to fish at night, but it's still good throughout the morning and day. And then if you feel a little adventurous with walking, or if you have waders, you can walk along this side of the bridge. But I'd highly recommend going on this side early in the morning. I always see on calm days, I always see fish just going after those mullet. I've seen redfish feeding frenzies. So, but that's early in the morning when the sun is just coming up. So now we're just gonna go ahead and skip this area. It's also a good area, but more for your natural baits than artificial. You just park your truck or park your car, truck, take your line out, and you'll catch some trout, sand or speckled, black drum, red drum, flounder. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put out the Packard Channel. So this is one of the best spots to fish from without having to get onto a boat or anything, because as you're coming in from onto 361, you can either take a right and get on over here, but I'd highly recommend going anywhere where those tire marks are in the sand, and then even on the other side where that wet spot is, a little puddle. 4-wheel drive. You need 4-wheel drive. Do not try to take it without 4-wheel drive. You will get stuck. But you can park over here if you don't. If you do have 4-wheel drive, you can drive all the way, and you can fish along all this area. It's really good fishing. From sheep's head, speckled trout, red drum, black drum, even other different species that come in. And then if you feel like you want to fish underneath the bridge, the current is strong, but there's a lot more chances of catching different other species, and there's also a high chance of catching a rock or other line that's been snagged there. And then on the other side, you can come here. You don't really need 4-wheel drive. Google Maps is a little outdated right now, but you can fish along right in here, and you can walk along this area, or you can go under the bridge. There's a good chance of catching flounder, speckled trout, and red drum, black drum. And then over here, from over here on this side, you have a kind of a love-hate relationship with the tide. Now, the tide does get up high, as you can see where these two vehicles are. The tide does get up to that point. My phone decides to tell me my golf rival chest is open. But it is a kind of a little bit of pain to get over here. A lot of potholes, a lot of trenches. So, but you can drive all the way down without having 4-wheel drive, depending on the tide level. And then you have, of course, the sandbar. That is, most of the time it's dry, but when the tide is high, it does go over it, and so you'll be able to stand out there in the water get your feet wet while you fish. But other than that, as long as you don't fish this area, you won't get snagged for the most part. And the great thing about this part is you can keep on going down, or I guess up, all the way out through here. It is all waist deep at the highest, and you can just fish all along it and all throughout this area and get on red drum, speckled trout, sand trout, flounder. They're all throughout this area. Now, of course, you can also go to the Packard Channel Park and fish along on this side and cast out through the channel, and you can go further down. But coming out on this side of the bridge, you can fish all that right there. It's all underwater, and there's always fish. Now, the next one that we're going to do is the Packard Channel Jetties. This is where you're going to catch your shark, your Spanish mackerel, your king mackerel coming out in probably around June time is whenever they're going to be starting to come through. Your Jack Crevalles. People have caught small groupers. Your sheep's head. All sorts of fish in this area. I always highly recommend looking at where the wind is blowing. And if the wind is blowing to the north, you want to go on to the north jetty. If the wind is going to be blowing to the south, go on to the south jetty. Just that way you're not casting against the wind, you're casting with the wind. And I mean, you can't beat it. The jetties are a very, very good spot to fish. The only issue is it's also snag heaven. You will get snagged at least once. No matter how proficient you are at fishing, you will get snagged. Whether it be you getting snagged without catching a fish and you're bringing it in, or you catch a fish and they go into the rocks and they get themselves snagged. And well, you lose a fish and you get snagged. But whenever it comes to the jetties, I always highly recommend bringing extra tackle, fishing tackle. But it is a very, very, very good spot to do some fishing. Now the next spot, and for those that want to go to the jetties and they want to get on a certain type of fish. So whenever you fish the jetties and you want to catch a shark, you're gonna catch a baby shark, but it's gonna be about 2 to 3 foot, 2 to 3 foot long. And of course, you can only keep one shark per day per person at the minimum length of 24 inches. And that's if it's a black tip, a spinner shark, or a bonnet head. Those you can catch on cut bait, like cut mullet, croaker, whiting, any type of cut bait fish, or fish that you just cut up. And we've caught bonnet heads on shrimp. So there's possibilities of catching them on shrimp. And then spoons. The spoon lures, not spoon-fed spoons. Which most of these fish, I'm pretty sure, are spoon-fed. But one thing I'm gonna tell y'all is always bring a pliers or something like. Yeah, just try to bring some pliers, because if you bring all your fishing gear like I've done, and you're using spoons and you end up forgetting your pliers, that's whenever you're going to be catching sharks on your spoon. And trying to get a treble hook out of a shark's mouth with just your bare hands is not very ideal. It's kind of a pain. So I highly recommend not doing that. Now, spoons will also catch you Spanish mackerel. Of course, your ladyfish for bait to catch some sharks, as well as red drum and king mackerel whenever they go through, as well as jack crevalles. And whenever you go to the jetties, mullet, live or cut, shrimp, and spoons have been my best things to use at the jetties. So just to let y'all know, just trying to use those to get on more fish. Now the next one is y'all got the whole entire beach from Porte, or from Corpus, Padre Island to Porte. You got the whole beach. Now the best thing about using the beach is y'all can enjoy your beach time with your family, build sandcastles, barbecue, drink beer, have a good time, as well as just cast out your rods out and enjoy the beach while you're fishing. Now, the time you want to do some, or not the time, but the areas that you want to really do the surf fishing is whenever you, dang, that's loud, see cuts in the waves. You want to look for cuts. Let's see if I could find one. Now, I don't recommend using Google Maps to find these cuts, because the sand and the sandbars are always changing. I'm trying to find one that's more really visible. But whenever you see the waves coming in from the beach, and you could see them not connecting, that's usually a cut. But also you can also go to the second sandbar and cast out if you want to get on some pretty good sized fish, or get on some shark using live bait, cut bait. But I mean, just this isn't really a good area to really show you. But I mean, just these areas where close to the shore, where you can kind of see the channel, or the, not channel, but the, between the sandbars, are also really good fishing areas. Now, what I like to do is I like to just go out to the surf, go out to the beach, put on some shrimp flavored fish bites on my line, cast it out, and most of the time I'm gonna get on some whiting, without even getting live shrimp, dead shrimp, or anything, just using fish bites. And I'll get on some whiting, and times I'll use them as cut bait for shark. Shark is very delicious, by the way. But there are times where the if you see a, what are they called? Not a herd, a flock. Whenever you see a flock of seagulls going in and hitting the water and taking bait fish, or you see a bunch of bait fish jumping, you can cast out a spoon over there, a hard lure or something, and you can get on some Spanish mackerel or ladyfish for bait. Get on some good fish over there as well. So, and you got some, I've actually never been here to this area where the Mustang Island State Park is, but I've heard these two jetties are pretty good. Can't say much on them, so I'm not gonna really say anything on them. Let's see here. All right, so we're in Port Aransas. I'm gonna tell you, just like how the Packard Channel jetties are, the portage jetties are even better. The only problem is you have even more chance of getting snagged. It goes further out. I believe around towards the end of the portage jetties, it's about a little over 20 feet deep. So, and then at the Packard Channel jetties, I believe it's about maybe 8 feet deep. So, I would tell you more, but it's basically the same, just bigger chances of getting on bigger fish. Now, the next area is Roberts Point Park. So this is right next to the ferry. Just come along on this area where all the boats are, boat launches, and you can come all the way down and fish all along this area. Now, I will let y'all know that in this area to fish, the current is basically always strong, but there's also always good chances of catching some fish. You can catch all sorts of fish. I've had one lady actually catch a lane snapper right beside me. It was pretty small, but it was still a lane snapper, so better than catching a hardhead, which I will let y'all know that you will have a very high chance of catching hardheads here. But there are those times where it's worth it. Not only that, but you got the playground for the kids to play in, and you got a bathroom here, and it's just a nice little area just to kind of sit back, kind of enjoy yourself while you just drink some beer or just relax while you fish. So that's Turtle Cove. Now let's go ahead and go with an Aransas channel. Now you got the Aransas channel that you can fish along. Oh. Now you got all this area to park your trucks and fish alongside. You can cast soft plastic, you can cast hard plastic, live, cut bait, dead shrimp, all sorts of fish bait. And then as well as on this side, it's really pretty good spot. I mean, I lost it was about sometime earlier last year. No, maybe it was about December of 2020. But I was fishing along right in here when the water was down, but lost a really good size red. Had it by the bank and decided wasn't gonna go home with me. Of course, I was on my lunch break from work, so I would have released it anyways. But you get all these channels on each side to do some fishing, as well as on this side closer to Redfish Bay. It's always really good fishing. The only issue about this area though is that it is filled with dolphins. They love to go through that area, and they just make the fishing a lot more harder. So just a heads up. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop the video right there. We're already at 33 minutes. So I hope y'all enjoyed the video, and there'll be more videos like this more often. But other than that, we're just gonna stop here. So if y'all haven't subscribed to the channel, I'd be very much appreciative of it. And leave the video a like, give the comment down below, and let me know what y'all think, or if y'all have any suggestions. Anything really helps. So again, hope y'all enjoy the video. Have a good day, and tight lines, my friends.